pretty much, and it's all I know. So just, I'm just so thankful for this. So stoked.
Title looking good on you. We're going to go to our media questions now. Our first one comes from spin.ph Randolph Leongson, who asks, where does capturing this belt rank among your career achievements?
Oh, it's right there at the top. It's got to be, right? To me, one is the biggest platform of martial arts. And winning this belt for one, it's right there with my ADCC title. I'm not going to put one over the other. It's right there with it, and I'm just so relieved, so thankful. This is one of my biggest accomplishments yet.
Our next question comes through from Sportskeeda Vincent Imperial, who asks, how does facing a Sambo expert compare to facing a BJJ expert?
So definitely a lot different. He came in extremely hot, extremely aggressive. As that Sambo pace usually is. It's kind of what I was expecting. He caught me clean with a foot sweep in the beginning. I got to give him props for that. It was a beautiful foot sweep, and I definitely would like to show my wrestling a bit more. I think I might have got one more takedown in there, but it was an amazing match, and I'm so thankful for Wally to taking it.
We've got some live questions coming in now. We're going to go across to Jeffrey Hu from Kung Fu Kingdom. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Can you hear me, man?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. So, yeah, you definitely called out like a couple of names with whom you want to defend your title against. Do you have anyone within like the one championship promotion whom you would like to face off as part of your title defense?
For sure. The names I mentioned, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tynan and Tommy are signed under one right now. So both those matches would be amazing. Tynan, we used to train under the same roof a long time ago, many moons ago, and there's been, I don't want to say tension, but somewhat of a rivalry between us and our old coaches and him. So I think that would be an amazing match. And for Tommy, at the ADCC after party, we had some words exchanged for sure. So I think I'm really looking forward to that one, and I'm definitely going to get the submission in that one.
Definitely looking forward to that, man. Thanks.
Right on. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Next up, we're going to go to Nick Atkin of South China Morning Post MMA. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, man. Congratulations on that. How you feeling?
Right on, Nick. Thank you. I'm feeling great, bro. So stoked.
Yeah, it turned out to be a relatively easy night at the office for you. And you mentioned that gym is now going to be ready to be complete. When are you looking to finish that gym now in Costa Rica?
Yeah, so the construction should be done as far as just the shell of the building in about 2 to 3 months, give or take. My brother and I were beyond excited for that. It's going to be a new chapter for us in our life. As soon as we get all the equipment, the mats, the bags, all that type of stuff, I reckon within the next 6 months, we'll be running strong. So I'm just beyond excited for that.
Yeah, and I was out in Phuket, Bangtao, and your old mentor Josh Hinger has been doing some coaching there. And have you been asking him for any tips on getting a gym up and running, because he's pretty tight with the Bangtao guys? Has he been able to give you some insight into that process?
Josh is a legend. I love Josh so much. Yeah, he's always been giving us tips over the years, and I always call him captain. He always reminds me like a captain of the team for sure. And all not just Josh in particular, but I have so many elder teammates that are always giving me great tips and advice, and my professor Galval. So I owe a lot to those guys. So thank you, Josh.
Yeah, and your brother, is he going to be having a title fight in one sometime soon?
Title fight? I'm not sure. I guess it depends on the division. I know he's looking at me, licking his right now. He's definitely got a possible matchup in December. We hopefully both get on that same card if can, and who knows, if we both get some wins, it'd be pretty crazy to see him challenging me for this. We fought twice before, and technically he has 2 wins over me, so I definitely need to get that one back.
Are you still interested in MMA as well, you guys? I think you both mentioned after your debuts in one, you were thinking about that. Is that something on the table now still?
Guaranteed. I've been working it a bit more. I kind of had to hit the brakes just for a little bit. I had that huge ADCC tournament, and then now this. But I'm gonna continue working these hands, and my goal is, early next year to start mixing it up and have that MMA debut. So beyond ecstatic for that as well.
Just one more, if I could. We saw quietly that a very famous guy in your sport, Gordon Ryan. He sort of didn't actually ever get to fight in one or grapple in one. He had signed with one, but it seems that he's now left one. Disappointed to see him go. Do you have anything to say about that?
To be honest, I don't know why he would ever want to leave the production. It doesn't really make too much sense to me. Maybe he was scared of a test or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. He's looking pretty big nowadays, but I guess everyone's got their own personal things going on. Who knows?
Yeah, and I spoke to Mikey before his matchup last month, and he said he was really rooting for you at ADCC. Happy to see you win the belt there, because he said a lot of the guys maybe are on something there, but he had respect for you, that you do it the right way. Is that nice to hear words like that from him?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I'm super thankful to Mikey for saying that. It means a lot, in a sport where, especially jiu-jitsu, I feel like more than any other sport probably in the world, it's just like ran by steroids pretty much, right? There's been almost no testing in all of jiu-jitsu, and everyone since the beginning of time, since I've been in it, just pretty much been roided to the gills, and so it's really cool to try to set it a difference. And I think the only way we'll ever kind of see any changes is more natural athletes coming out there and speaking out on it. So Mikey, other natural athletes like Roberto, my brother, and I think hopefully it could carry the wave.
Yeah, one's got this new drug testing partner as well. Are you happy to see that process? And is it something you think is improving the sport, or can make it improve?
For sure. Athletes, just I think the more testing, the better. There couldn't be enough testing, and guys are, they're always going to be guys kind of getting around it, doing things to maybe, try to find the edge, but just hard work over the years and technique will always get you through. So, just keeping that same mindset, and I think that's the way.
All right, man. Thanks so much. Enjoy the night in Kuala Lumpur. Cheers.
Right on, brother. Thank you.
Nice one, Nick. Next, we're going to go across to Kyle Siegel of the Going Live Network. Kyle, you're up.
Hey, Kade. This is Kyle from the Going Live Network, man. Congrats. I mean, double champ. I watched you at ADCC. I know you mentioned MMA, but I mean, for a fan just watching you and your progression, what kind of timeline are you thinking? Is it actually next year, 6 months, 2 years? What would you say?
Yeah, guaranteed next year, without a doubt, we'll be in the cage or in the circle, with the gloves on. As far as what exact month, I can't be certain. There's not a specific date that we have, signed. But definitely, preferably within the first 6 months, the first next year, guaranteed for sure.
Awesome. We can't wait to see that. And winning ADCC like you did, just kind of almost demolishing all these people, especially your finals bout, just with that leg lock. Does that give you extra confidence now in a fight like this in one championship, just knowing that, you are top of the food chain?
Guaranteed. I think I said this before. I think one thing that kind of changes now is I feel like I'm the hunted rather than the hunter. I've always been looking after that number one spot, trying to get to the top, and now kind of almost feels like I'm there, right? So I got a lot of hungry people coming after me, and that's exactly what I want. So I can't wait to face everybody.
Perfect. Congrats, Kade. Can't wait to see you and your bro perform again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Onward we go to a gentleman who might well have one of the best voices in MMA media, Abdullah from MMA Verdict. Go ahead, Abdullah.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm cruising. How are
you've
you?
heard it. I'm good, thanks. You've heard it a lot tonight, but congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of questions for you. Did you compete with a sort of chip on your shoulder due to the fact that your opponent did miss weight?
Not really. I didn't really think about it at all, to be honest with you. I just came in the same way I come in every match. Every day in the gym, I'm fighting, guys 220 plus monsters, animals, and so size is one thing that doesn't really kind of intimidate me, especially when it comes up to grappling.
Thanks. And no debate is ever really put to rest, but do you feel like you sort of settled the Sambo versus BJJ, at least for now?
Yeah, man, that's at least in the circle, I'd say, just for now, right? Guaranteed. That was definitely more of my my field out there, more of my game, the grappling format. It's kind of hard to say. Everyone's different. There's definitely different Sambo guys out there, different jiu-jitsu guys. Everyone has different skill sets and levels in each, but at least in between me and him, maybe.
Thanks. And I'm sure you had ample respect for Sambo and your opponent going into the match, but competing against him and feeling it, do you have sort of more, would you say?
For sure. I have a lot of massive amount of respect for him, just for the fact that he came at me head first, no hesitation, and extremely strong. He wasn't turning down from anything, and he wasn't scared at all. So a lot of respect to him. A lot of competitors, when I get in there with them, they're very, my brothers and I's reactions are some of the best out there, I feel like. And a lot of people tend to kind of, shut, and he did the opposite. So, massive props to him. He was an animal.
That's amazing. You put on one of the best performances I've seen from you. And the last one, how are you going to celebrate this win?
And it's a great question. We still got a lot of time left in the day. I think we're out of here tomorrow. So we'd love to walk around. We got my brother and my coach Jesse here, and we'll find something to do. Probably eat all the good, delicious food. I was cutting weight the majority of this trip, so I can't wait to fill back up.
Thanks. Good luck. And thanks for the beautiful introduction.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Ted Raisin from Sportskeeda. Ted, go ahead.
Hi, Kade. That belt looks good on you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, bro.
So Wally caught you with a foot sweep to start the bout. Were you surprised at all by how powerful the Sambo specialist was?
First, I knew he was going to be physically strong. He came at me very hot, and that foot sweep did surprise me. I figured with the judo background, throw out, and I didn't think it would click so clean. He got me right off the get-go, and I was like, oh, okay, he's good for sure. I got right back up to my feet though and started pressing forward, and I knew that attack was probably going to come again. With that being said, I made little adjustments, and I found the takedown myself.
Well said, man. He also tried to attack your legs before you caught his with a leg lock. Were you threatened by his attack at all? How close or how far was he from finishing?
You're saying his attack?
Yeah, I think he tried
his
to
attack
before, right?
Right. You're right. At one moment he did look for my legs, but it was very far-fetched. When it comes up to the leg locks, I feel like our nice defense are some of the top out there for sure. We've dedicated the last couple years to leg lock defense, and so when it comes up to leg locks, man, I don't think there's anyone in the world that can leg lock us. And I think oftentimes it shows a counter for us, which is kind of what happened there.
Thank you very much, man. Enjoy your victory.
Thank you, bro.
Next up, we have Andrea Tang from Jiu-Jitsu Times.
Hi, Kade. Good to catch up with you again. Congratulations. That was a hell of a fight. Last time we chatted, we talked a little bit about how we often see jiu-jitsu players using the guard against Sambo and judo stand-up specialists, which of course you did not do. You gave us a hell of a wrestling match on top of everything else. We did briefly see you jump guard, I think at about the 4 or 5 minute mark of the match. What were you planning from there? Because I saw you wrestle up for that single leg immediately afterwards. Was that part of the guard jump sequence that you were planning, or was that something that was a bit more spontaneous?
Great question. Yeah, so it was more, he was gripping real heavy on a collar tie, and my goal was to slip my hand to the wrist, try to get on the arm bar off that jumping guard. It was more like I'd say like a flying arm bar attempt. However, I didn't get that wrist grip. It kind of slipped. Therefore, it was very far-fetched, and I was on bottom. And my brothers and I's game, we don't mind being on bottom. However, the way we like to play jiu-jitsu, take down, pass, and submit. So once I didn't get that submission attempt, my goal was to get right back to my.
Awesome. And you did exactly that. One more question, if you don't mind. You mentioned earlier in response to one of the other reporters that you and fellow ADCC alum Tommy Langacker had some words at the after party, which resulted in that call out on the canvas. Anything that you'd be willing to publicly share with us, or is that under wraps?
Yeah, it was nothing too crazy, nothing too personal. It was like, afterwards, where are we gonna go? I think we were all a bit woozy. It was a bit of a crazy night, but it was no hard foul or no foul play really. It was just it was cool, but at the same time came at me with an intriguing energy, I'd say, and so it kind of fired me up to have a match with them.
Well, I'm sure that'll be a great show. Thank you so much.
Guarantee. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. Jay Anderson is with us now from Cage Side Press. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, thanks very much. Congrats on the win tonight. You were very blunt in your assessment of performance enhancing drug use in grappling. And I'm kind of curious if it's kind of a feather in your cap to be getting wins over guys that are taking that advantage of you.
Absolutely, 100%. That's honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, that's almost what my brother and I pride ourselves most on. Um, obviously the wins are great, the belts are great, all the accolades are amazing, but at the end of the day, I almost feel like we're out there trying to for the big picture, just trying to some change in the sport. Because like I said, like really believe 98, 99% of athletes in jiu-jitsu are on some sort of performance enhancing drug. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things for
And how satisfying is it to have a promotion like one who keep branching out into these single discipline martial arts to give you that platform for BJJ and put some real money behind it, like we see with the bonus tonight?
oh, it's huge. It's massive for jiu-jitsu. It's motivating for just the athletes, right? There's been jiu-jitsu was kind of stuck in this rut for a long time. For example, guys train all year that's as hard as they can. They get to the tournament when they may have 8 tough fights, they make it to the final, they win, and then they're almost losing, right? Hell, and brands like One and they're just giving so much more motivation to the athletes. Who's not going to win a $50,000 bonus, right? So every time I step on those mats, my goal is to put them out as quick as I can and hopefully get that paycheck.
And last one for me. I mean, you talked about the transition to MMA. We don't see a lot of guys dominate in MMA based off single discipline skills anymore. But do you feel that you have the ability with your level of jiu-jitsu to make an immediate impact, or do you think it might be a longer road to becoming a more well-rounded mixed martial artist?
That's a great question. Yeah, I believe I've been training jiu-jitsu my entire life. Obviously, that's my strong suit. However, I love striking. It's not like I'm just now picking it up. Over the years, striking. When I think about 12 years old, we were training a bit of Muay Thai for like a couple years, and so I have a bit in me. It's not like I'm completely new to the game, and I'm falling in love with it every day. It's very new to me. You know what I mean? And jiu-jitsu. Not that I don't love it, of course, but it's like I've been doing it my entire life. So I'm learning every day, and it's refreshing. So I'm just gonna keep refining my skills, and I do believe the second I step in that circle, I'm gonna make some big waves for sure.
Looking forward to it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. We're going to go across now to Sean Sheehan of Sherdog. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, kid, how are you? I just want to ask you, a few people have asked about transitioning to MMA. Did tonight feel a little bit like an MMA match? It was very rough. I saw you got a hand in the throat and a few pulls downs of the head and things like that. Is a matchup like tonight actually a very good preparation for MMA?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say obviously, completely different. We still got kicks, knees, all that type of stuff, elbows. He came at me hot, he came at me rough, and it wasn't intimidating too much to me at all. I every time someone comes at me with that energy, that hot, I know there's gonna get down, crash. You know what I mean? You can't keep that same pace for 10 minutes, right? And especially with a couple hands hit me open, and it was just firing me up more. I was just getting more stuff. I've competed in the combat jiu-jitsu before with the open palm hand strikes, and I got the belt in that as well. So I'm definitely no stranger to some open hand slaps or anything like that. It didn't really bother me at all. If anything, it fired me up more. But yeah, I think a little bit for sure helped.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Sean. Kate, it's fascinating hearing you talking. Belters on the card tonight. Is there anybody whose style you kind of look up to or admire? And is there anyone out there in the MMA divisions who you would like to face one day?
For sure, man. You guys have such an amazing roster of fighters. Everyone in the division's tough. We've seen so many amazing fights today. I think a very interesting fight, honestly, would be someone that I've already faced under one, Shinya Aoki. It'd kind of be a cool rematch. We fought him in the grappling bout. In the MMA, I think would be very intriguing as well. I fought him in my world. It'd be really cool to fight him in his world, and maybe next year we could get that going.
Always must see TV whenever you compete. Massive congratulations, champ.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Mucho mahalo.
is Reagan Urso.